welcome to the channel. I'm Red Cloud, playing some more Disgaea RPG, and I have two things in store for you today. First off, I have been given a serial code for you all, so I can pass on some free quartz and some other free goodies for you all, as well as we're going to be looking at the Pringer X Advent that's going to be coming up this month, and giving you a little bit of insight so you can prepare yourself for what is in store, because it is a doozy. So I'm going to cover a little bit of the Pringer X Advent, and then I'm going to slip that code in, show you how to claim it for anyone that's new, and then we'll get back into the Pringer X strategy and showing you which units are going to help you if you take them in. And this Advent is a bit different because we are used to having 5 waves usually, but the Pringer X of Advent has 7 waves. So a very long battle, and I look forward to it. So the Pringer X Advent is going to be pretty difficult. Not for everyone, but for some people. The main gimmick I'm going to tell you straight away is that spells are disabled. So that means no Mega Braveheart, no Mega Magic Boost, none of those. You can still use skills, and your abilities are still going to count, but that spell is going to put the spanner in the works for a lot of teams. Anyone who has invested heavily into that 4 Usalias and 1 DPS is probably going to struggle a little bit because Mega Braveheart is gone. But we'll run through the Dengeki wiki, which is the JP wiki, and show you a bit more detail about what it brings. So first off here, it's giving you characters which are effective in the Advent, and I have even myself compiled a bigger list than what they give you here, because they give you a list but there's not loads of units. So I compiled a Google Sheets spreadsheet thing for you, and I'm going to show you a big list of characters because you're more likely to have some more of them in there than just what's on this sheet here. Just to summarize what they are doing, they are showing you units which have buffing elements in their skill sets. There's the units there. You got Marjeline, Devil Girl Elizabeth, Formal Seraphina, Liezerota, Malzeno, Love Oracle, Princess Etna, Swimsuit Desco, Pure Sicily, Thunderlord Lahol, Priestess Sicily, Base Elizabeth, and Sister Artina all have some sort of aspect that's going to be good going into this Advent. But let's give you a little wave by wave breakdown of what's going on here. So first wave, doesn't seem to be a lot going on in this wave. All it's pretty much telling you is that the blue Prinny will be healed if he gets low on health. It's saying revived here, but I'm just assuming it means healed, and it's just a bad translation. So wave 2, what's going on here? Before anything happens, you are hit with a poison move. This is why units like Sister Artina are going to come in handy, because she has a skill that makes you immune to poison, as well as being able to heal your HP as well. So she's going to be quite a good addition, and she's free to play as well. It's saying again here that the corpse will be revived many times if it is not defeated at the end, which I think we can safely assume it just means if you leave it at low HP, it is going to be healed. So if you cannot one-shot it, it might take you a few goes to get rid of him. As well as the moths sound like they could be a little bit troublesome. They've got skills which can cause poison, paralysis, and forget as well. So if you have room for a unit that can get rid of status ailments with their skills, because remember, Espoir and Mega Espoir are off the table, this is where units like Base Elizabeth are going to come in handy, because she can get rid of status ailments. Already said Sister Artina can make you immune to poison, and Formal Seraphina can also make you immune to paralysis as well. So I'm liking the sound of it so far. It sounds a little bit tricky, which is what we want, because some of the gameplay, I say some, a lot of the gameplay is quite easy these days, so I'm looking forward to a bit more of a challenge. Wave 3, what have you got going on for me? The target of Wave's free revival is the rare mushroom. So if you can't kill it, let it be until you've wiped out the other enemies first. This wave, it looks like you're going to have to be dealing with paralysis, but it's telling you if you do have Formal Seraphina, then that should not be a problem for you at all. And the red, blue, and green mages, they have Mega Speed Down and Mega Arm Break, so that could be a little troublesome, but you can have units, say like Thunderlord Lahol, who can boost the whole party's speed, and there are units that can half the overall debuff effect, like Formal Seraphina, and also Maiden Sicily can do that as well. Wave 4 looks like it's got a couple of options for us. The difference in the pictures is just the colour of the Prinny, but what can they do for us? So if you come up against the blue and the green Prinny, they're going to grant themselves Mega Shield, as well as giving you a Mega Magic Down debuff. And if you come up against the B Wave, which is the pink and red Prinny, they're going to give themselves Mega Magic Wall and a debuff to you in Mega on Feeble, which is the one that's going to down your attack stat. And then it's going into some differences between the colours of the Prinnies and different resistances they do have. I'm not too worried about these sort of things because I'll probably go with units that don't have the attribute attacks just to avoid any resistance issues. But it is saying that blue is strong against water and weak to wind, green is strong against wind and weak to fire, and the peach coloured one is strong against fire and weak to water. Now that's only telling you 3 out of 4 there, and I'm not really too fussed about the red Prinny and what the weakness is for that one. You can probably work it out by process of elimination, but I'm not even going to look for it because it's not going to be that big of an issue, I don't feel. On to wave 5, what have we got going on? So it's going to be quite similar to wave 3 apparently, where the 3 majors, the red, blue and green, are going to be using Mega Speed Down and Mega Cooldown, which is going to be Mega on Feeble. So again, that's your attack stat being debuffed. The boss of the level is going to be the unit that's going to have the Resurrection gimmick. And then towards the bottom, it's giving you a cautionary note, because if you do get Mao's branch in wave 6, because again, there's 2 branches, he will attack first, so be sure to have everyone's HP as high as possible. But not too much more going on in wave 5 other than that. As it's saying, it's quite similar to wave 3, so just do what you can and get rid of it as quickly as possible. So with wave 6, the 2 branches, wave 6A and wave 6B, differences looks like the colour of the Prinnies again, and wave B is in question marks. And it's saying that wave B is actually a rare pattern, which we did see this with Awakened Killia's raid. I think it was wave 4, you could have this rare Christmas wave come out of nowhere which replenished all your SP. I've never actually personally seen it, but I've heard other people talk about it. But with this one, I'm not too sure what happens, unless it states below. I'm not 100% sure. But what it is saying is that Mao's initial attack has the ability to release all your buffs at the same time as an overall attack on you as well, which is a bit of a pain, but it's not the end of the world. We can easily buff ourselves back up with skills. I'm going to show you lots of units that can do this, so it's not too much of a worry. It's saying that this first attack is going to deal a significant amount of damage, so do try and bring a healer in your team because it looks like you're going to need it. And if Mao makes it round for a second go, he's going to do an even stronger move. Looks like it's going to kill you, unless you can maybe give him a status ailment and use Forget on him. Or if not, we can counter it by using the Resurrection technique of Saint Etna, which is actually a very cool technique. And this could actually be one of the rare times we actually get to use it and not have to worry about raid speed or anything like that. So this could be quite handy. But this does boil down to finishing the wave off as quickly as possible. If you can bust a big S+ damage move into Mao's face, then go for it, I'd say. Get rid of him so we cannot do this second bomb 5 finger bomb. Just try and get him out as quickly as possible. And then we get on to wave 7, which is the final wave of the Advent, where it's saying that all enemies now boast more stats than Mao of wave 6. So the Prinnies are going to attack with single attacks, but if you start decreasing their HP, they will start to use AoE moves as well. So if you're unable to wipe them out with one big AoE move, then do take them out one at a time, making sure that they do not have any HP remaining before they get a chance to attack. And a final note it is saying is that when Pringer X is the last enemy surviving, he's going to use Pringer Beam X Plus that you have forgotten. So unless I'm misinterpreting that, it's going to give us the forgot effect. So it is recommending that you aim for the Pringer X with the highest priority while ignoring the main Pringer as a single attack. So we can all agree that does sound quite tough, but I'm looking forward to it. And the best thing about Advents now is that we only need to free start the level one time, and then we can skip it all the time on future attempts. But let's get you that code now. I've made you wait long enough. So from the home screen, to enter a serial code, go to the top right onto menu, click on other, which is the Pringer that's saying dude, click him. On the left hand side in the middle it says serial code, click on that, and the code we have is DRPGX Red Cloud. This will not be case sensitive, but this is the code as they give it to me, so I'll give it to you in the exact same way. But I repeat, it is not case sensitive. I have tested it. I'll press confirm, but I've already claimed it to see if it worked. And the goodies you're going to be getting are 300 Nether Quartz, 3 AP potions, 3 crab miso, and 1 premium summon ticket. So enjoy those rewards, guys, and if you do want to see more codes in the future, then please like the video, hit subscribe, and I will do my very best to get more for you when I am able to. So the code again, it is DRPGX PG X Red Cloud. No spaces, and enjoy those rewards, guys. And on the screen now for you is most of the units that I've been able to compile that do have skills which can buff your attack, your intelligence, critical damage, speed, and do have some other side notes to them as well. So that is on the screen for you there. I will scroll down in a minute because there are a few more at the bottom. But this was just to add on to the units that they actually had on the Dengeki wiki, but there wasn't a massive list, as I said at the start of the video. And I've tried to tell you here which ones buff themselves, which one buffs allies, which one buffs the party, if it buffs attack, intelligence. Only one of them buffs critical damage, which is Santa Rosalyn. She is a brilliant unit if you are going in with an intelligence based team, because she's got a massive intelligence buff for one unit as well as a critical damage buff, which is why I have highlighted some of the names for you on the left hand side, because I think they're just maybe a bit better than the others. I mean, there might be some obvious ones you can see that are not highlighted, like Saint Etna. It's not to say that those are bad units for the Advent, it's just that I thought the ones that are highlighted bring maybe a little bit more. So you've got Amelia, who buffs one ally's intelligence as well as transferring all her SP, which is just like Maiden Sicily. Tyrant Overlord Lahol can buff the whole party's basic stats by 20% except for HP. That's going to help with being less squishy as well. Formal Seraphina, if you have her, she pretty much has to be in the team. She brings quite a lot attack up to the whole party, and she has a speed buff skill as well, which has that paralysis immunity skill attached to it, so she is pretty strong. Thunderlord Lahol was mentioned because of his action gauge buff for himself, but when he does that move, he also buffs the speed of the entire party. I don't know how well you're going to be able to make a Thunderlord Lahol team though, because you might not be able to make the 5 different Forte team, but even having him on here just for this, it may be quite handy, it might work for you. Lieza Rota, very decent as well. Whole party attack buff of 30%, very nice. Maiden Sicily, the attack version of Amelia, so 20% attack stat buff, plus all SP transfer to one target of your choice. New Year Girl Lahol, once her skill is leveled up, can give you a 60% attack buff to one ally. That is very decent, so worth putting her into the team. I liked Malzeno as well, because he can buff the entire party's attack by 40%, so if the option you want to go down is maybe taking a few DPS units, then he can be a good choice for that. Santa Rosalyn, already mentioned, very good intelligence stat buff and that critical damage buff. Princess Etna can buff the entire party's intelligence by 40%, very good. Devil Elizabeth has that party attack stat buff, but that one also heals as well, so that is very nice too. Summer Desco can buff the whole party's intelligence by 40% with a skill, so if you go for the intelligence route, that's a good way. She can also be used as a damage dealer too, but that would mean you need to build a whole monster team, which may be a bit more tricky. Marjolein can buff the whole party's basic stats by 20%. Again, similar to Tyrant Overlord Lahol, that means everyone's going to be a little bit less squishy as well as hitting a bit harder. Let me just scroll down. Asagi, very good choice. I mean, her buffs are not as high, 5 and 8%, but those moves do buff all basic stats by 5 and 8%. So it's decent, as well as it deals damage to the enemy as well. Maybe worth doing a trial run to see if your Asagi can actually deal enough damage to wipe the enemy out before they get a chance to attack again. Because like I said, when I was walking through the waves, they will hit harder the lower HP they have some of the waves. Sister Artina would be there because she can heal and has that immune to poison skill. IMA is a very decent free unit choice. She can buff one ally's attack by 40%. And I mean, her main draw for me is that she is free. And if you are sticking a bunch of defensive equipment on her, since she has the chance to take single attacks for you, maybe you can protect other units that way. Pure Sicily, she seems to be in there more for a general of what she can do with her abilities, as well as having the skill which buffs the party's defense, and she can remove a status ailment too. So if you can't make yourself immune to the poison or paralysis, Pure Sicily is there to save the day. And another free unit we are mentioning is Love Oracle. For the whole party, you can buff their intelligence and defense too by 25%, so a very good free play option. Also very good if you do have multiple DPS units. But the whole list is on there. You can just rewind back a little bit, pause it, have a look, have a little play around with your box, see what sort of units you've got going on. I mean, some of these ones at the bottom here, so mid-boss, Jennifer, Gordon, they're not ideal, obviously. Not many people are going to have them leveled up to 9999, which makes perfect sense because that would be pretty much a waste of materials, I think. But there you have it. That is a breakdown of the Pringer X event. talking you through the waves, and giving you a list of units as well with skill moves that can buff the team, and hopefully you can build a team around them. And enjoy the code, guys, as well. As I said, I always endeavour to get you more codes. I enjoy giving you lot codes, so hit subscribe and I will do my best to get you some more in the future. Let me know below in the comments what you think of the Pringer X. Are you prepared for it? What sort of team have you got in mind? And I hope you enjoyed the video, guys. I will see you again very soon. Bye.